Hi everyone, and welcome back to our Women's Hormone Health online event. We are celebrating the Seed Cycle's first birthday, and we are on a big mission to help women balance their hormones naturally. Today with me, I have Emma. Hi, Emma.
Hi Mel, how are you?
Good. So Emma is from Happy Hormone Health. Emma is a degree qualified women's health naturopath. She helps women get awesome periods. I love that. Clear skin and optimal fertility with an evidence-based and root cause approach. So welcome, Emma. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us. Today we are going to chat about the pill and hormones. And I have to say that the pill has come up quite a few times during my chats for this event. So it'll be really great to dive in on it today and talk more about it. So I guess maybe we can start with a bit of an explanation of like how the pill works. I know for a long time I didn't understand at all, and I probably still don't fully understand how the pill works.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a pretty common one. I think a lot of us get like put on the pill as young teenagers generally and just get told this is going to regulate your periods or fix your acne or whatever it is, a miracle cure. And I think a lot of us don't realize that the pill actually shuts down ovulation. So the communication between your brain and your ovaries is completely offline while you're taking the pill. So that means that while you're on the pill, we actually don't get a true period. It is considered a pill bleed. And that is due to the synthetic hormones that are dosed at the same kind of level every day until you take those sugar pills and you have your withdrawal bleed. So the tricky thing I think a lot of us don't realize is the synthetic hormones in the pill work very differently to our own natural hormones that we produce. So our natural hormones are really good for our hair, our skin. It helps support our weight and our metabolism and our mood. And so when you're on the pill, that's why some women can experience changes in these areas because the hormones that you're taking are not exactly the same as what we produce naturally.
Yeah, and I've told this story once before, but I remember as a teenager, a lot of my friends were being put on the pill for their skin, so nothing to do with contraception. And I remember wanting to go on it because then there was nothing wrong with my skin. I wasn't getting hormonal breakouts or anything, but I just had this idea of like it's going to make my skin look like amazing or like different to what it was. And so there was that conversation around, yeah, like, and with friends, and then also like wanting to get on the pill for that reason. And like, I guess I was lucky in terms of when I did go on the pill, it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't feel right to me. Intuitively, I was like, oh, I don't like this. So I got off it pretty quickly. And I do know that the pill, obviously as a contraception method, but then also there are some women who it really helps them. So, you know, that's completely fine. I think that it's more around knowing what it does. And that, like, I think there has been a real lack of education around it.
Yeah, 100%. And exactly like you said, for some women, of course, it can improve quality of life if they have endometriosis or really debilitating period pain, heavy periods. Of course, it can kind of help manage those symptoms. But like you said, it's the awareness and kind of seeing both sides of the story and making the right choice for your body.
Yeah, because I don't think that we get told both sides very often.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And just getting told that it will fix everything, which it definitely can while you're taking it, but then it's that not knowing when you're coming off, like you're almost starting back at teenage level hormones again. So not knowing what your natural cycle is like and what your normal periods are going to be like. I've had some clients that have been on the pill from 15 and they're coming off in their 30s. So that's more than 15 years of not knowing what their natural hormones are like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think that like we were saying, that awareness of it. And the other thing that I think is really important to know is that there are other solutions for those the PMS symptoms, and again, like that, for a lot of people, they're not aware of that. It's like, you know, I'm having really heavy periods, or, you know, the PMS is really unbearable, and then the only solution that they come across is the pill. But there are so many other ways that you can actually support your hormones, like seed cycling, that can bring them into balance, and then helps with those symptoms. So I would love to know how women can support their bodies and their hormones, if they are wanting to get off the pill, because I know that there can be a lot of worry and anxiety around that, not knowing how your body's going to respond, and like the post-pill symptoms. So yeah, talk us through what people can do.
Yeah, and everyone's a little different. I think that's the tricky thing, you know. It's like I said, if you've been on the pill for 10 plus years and you can't even kind of remember what your periods were like before, that's what I would generally say. You kind of, what your gauge is what your periods were like before. You can probably expect for that to come back, whether that be heavy or painful or acne, whatever it is. So in the lead up to coming off, I definitely think step one is like nourishment, and kind of making sure you're getting all those lovely nutrients in. Unfortunately, the pill does deplete some nutrients, so magnesium, B vitamins, zinc, some of the things that are really crucial for ovulation and supporting your natural hormones to kind of come back online. So starting with, lots of beautiful antioxidant rich fruits and veg, plenty of healthy fats, so your avocados, your nuts and seeds, and protein is another really important one that I find a lot of women struggle with, to kind of getting their protein in across the day. That's things like your meat, and if you're vegetarian, it can be eggs, tofu, legumes, fish, all those varieties of protein to really help detoxification as well.
Yeah, so spending, did you say like a couple months really focusing on that nutrition before even getting off the pill?
Yeah, I think just having a good look at, and even eating enough, I think is really important as well. Not like skipping breakfast, just having a coffee. That is really important. I find I do a lot of education with my clients around just getting enough calories and nutrients in. So definitely kind of looking at that before you transition off, because that's going to help, again, support that ovulation and your own hormones to get the nutrients they need to function once you stop the pill.
Yeah, and what a beautiful thing to do for yourself in preparation for that.
Yeah. And just kind of having an understanding, even the hormone side, like that's going to help support energy and mood and all of those other maybe day-to-day symptoms that you kind of don't think twice about, that maybe is just your normal.
I guess understanding as well what the different phases of your menstrual cycle, so then as you get off the pill, having that understanding of like, this is, and maybe it will be irregular in the beginning. That's why we do with the seed cycling, we look at the moon phases and use that as a guide, but knowing the phases and knowing what to expect in each phase really, for me as well, has been a game changer. And knowing, you know, like, I've been able to schedule these events around my period, because I know that if I am in the luteal phase, then it is harder for me to have a conversation, or the nerves are a bit more, or, you know, the self-doubt, or, you know, and then like when I'm in that ovulation phase, I think they call like the give phase. So that's when I really want to do get in the kitchen and do cooking, and cook more for my kids, and, you know, really take care of them and give to them. So then really embracing that and knowing that then probably once that phase is over, I'm not going to be as giving, and I might need to, like the next one is like the take phase, so like more about taking and doing things for me and taking the help. And so I think, yeah, for me, that's been so amazing. And then getting off the pill and starting to understand that and see what you are like in each of those phases would be so helpful.
Yeah, I think it's a huge shift too for a lot of women, because if you've been on the pill for quite a long time, you're used to feeling the same every day. You're getting that constant release of the same hormone levels every single day. So your mood and your energy and things like that, it doesn't fluctuate generally. So one of the things a lot of my clients will say is, oh, wow, like suddenly I'm very emotional, or I'm really tired all of a sudden, or I'm really energetic. And these shifts, like you said, they're not used to having them.
Yeah. And it could, it's shocking to me, and I know it's happening. So like if you like you said, if you have been, haven't had those been moving through those phases, it can be a bit of a shock. But then I think it was one of the talks Sally said, when you understand your menstrual cycle, you can use it as your superpower. And I was like, oh, I love that, because you can.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'm really big on that, and kind of like you said, knowing which, like even in your diary, you can put down follicular ovulation. Which week is what. That you can schedule in more. You might be a bit more social when you're in follicular phase, but when your period's coming up, you want to be a bit more introverted. Stay in self-care. Yeah.
Yeah. So beautiful. Anything else that I will ask you for one key takeaway, and I'd love for you to share how people can work with you. But in terms of this conversation around the pill and supporting your body post-pill, anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, so I think nourishment's a great start. I definitely think, depending on the individual too and what's going on for them, and maybe what they already know, if they already have like a condition before they went on the pill, for example, so PCOS or endometriosis, focusing on maybe some of the root causes of those. So for example, with PCOS, insulin resistance is generally a really big driver. So unfortunately, the pill kind of can contribute to insulin resistance a little bit. So working on things to kind of help balance your blood sugar, focusing on gut health, because that can have a really big flow-on effect to how your insulin works as well. So things like adding in pre and probiotics into your diet can really help to support that gut health in advance as well, particularly if you are getting digestive symptoms already, like bloating and IBS type symptoms.
Yeah, that's a great one. So the nutrition, and then the gut health. We spoke about like the mindset side of things, and the understanding of how the menstrual cycle, how it works, and the different phases, and how you might feel in each of those phases. I think that's such an amazing game plan. And then obviously like working with a practitioner, I think that's like such a and then having that support as well, and such a great way to come off. And then I think that all of that combined can really help with those nerves and the worry around what's going to happen once I get off.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hesitations I find a lot of my clients. They haven't wanted to come off because they've tried to do it previously, and then their skin's broken out, or their period didn't come back, and their moods are all over the place, and they just didn't feel like themselves. So they went back on to kind of get that stability. Whereas, like you said, if you work with the practitioner before you come off, you can do blood tests to check for nutrient deficiencies. If there's anything underlying with your thyroid or your insulin, there's kind of things you can put in place to really help target what's going on for you. But definitely, as a starting point, anyone can do nutrition, gut health. Stress is another really big one, managing your stress. That's really overlooked, because when you're stressed, that's directly going to impact ovulation when you come off the pill. And so if your brain kind of doesn't feel like it's safe enough to have a baby right now, it won't allow you to ovulate and then in turn get your periods. So I find really focusing on stress management techniques, whatever that is for you, yoga, meditation, journaling, walking, seeing friends, everyone's a little different, but really working on that stress and environment picture is really important.
Yeah. We had Naomi Jansen come on for the event, and she's an EFT practitioner. She trained me in EFT, so emotional freedom techniques, and we spoke about that connection between stress and your hormones and having those techniques. And yeah, EFT tapping is something that really works for me. But like you said, like finding, and it might not just be one thing. It actually isn't just one thing for me either, but finding that those things for you that you can feel bring down that cortisol level. And sometimes it is maybe like with hormones, like addressing the root cause of the stress. There might be some underlying trauma or some triggers that again, like working with a professional helping you work through all that. And then doing that then has that flow-on effect where life's a bit easier.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, even just understanding that connection is there and being kind of a little bit more gentle with yourself if, say, you are going through a really stressful time or a big event like your wedding's coming up or you're moving or you've had a lot of stress in your relationships, things like that. Your hormones will adapt to that. So that's another thing I think is really important to know, that your body is kind of always looking out for you, whether or not you kind of think about it like that, but it will not ovulate like if it doesn't feel safe. So that's something to be aware of too, if your period doesn't come back straight away.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I do find that the leading up to my period, I guess how bad, probably can frame this better, but how bad the PMS symptoms are depend on the month I've had. So if I've had a really stressful, busy month and I haven't taken care of myself, I definitely find those PMS symptoms, and then my mood and everything is worse than a month where I have, eaten really well, taken care of myself. So yeah, you can really like reflect on like the month that you've had when you're in that phase and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Things have been pretty crazy. And then also it's kind of a bit of a reward when you have been really looking after yourself, and then you get to premenstrual and you get your period and it's like, oh, that was easy. Amazing.
Yeah, it's meant to be a pretty seamless event for sure. But like you said, a bit of extra stress, inflammation, not eating as well, sleepless nights, they're all going to compound to how much progesterone you make. So the hormone you make after you ovulate, that will directly compete with cortisol, your stress hormone. So if you've got a lot of stress going on, naturally you're going to make less progesterone, which means that PMS phase is probably going to be a little bit more symptomatic that month.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And thanks for explaining it that way, because often, it's like, again, we don't really understand what's happening with those levels. So knowing, oh yeah, it must, my progesterone must be, a little bit low. That's why this is seeming really hard at the moment. But then knowing what you can do the following month to support that ovulation and boost that progesterone, so you're not having those, all those symptoms.
Yeah. It's very like holistic. It's kind of not just like you can eat well and that's all you need to do. It's like you need to be sleeping well, looking after yourself, moving your body. All of those things kind of add up to how balanced your hormones will be.
Yeah, it's never just one thing.
It would be easy if that was the case.
Yeah,
Pop a magic supplement that would make my job very easy. But no, it's diet and lifestyle is crucial. Without those kind of foundations, supplements and things can help your body to do what they need to do or give you that bit of a boost. But like you said, if you have a stressful month, your period will kind of let you know. So yeah.
And often we can feel like we are doing all those things and then things still aren't coming together. And then it might just be that one piece of the puzzle that we're missing. And then we add that in on top of all those beautiful things, and then everything just starts working so much better. So I think that not giving up and continuing to try different things and searching for different ways that you can support your body in that like holistic way.
Getting like lots of acne, hair loss, things like that, that's when I would say you want to be going and getting some investigations done.
Yeah.
If your periods are really debilitatingly painful, you're vomiting, you're getting lots of pain throughout the month, that's not normal, and you want to be getting that looked into. So the other tricky thing I find is a lot of women think like that's their normal, so it's normal, but it's different to what's actually normal.
Yeah. And some of that is some of the things that we're told as women, like, you know, your periods are a curse, and you know, you just have to kind of put up with those symptoms. And so, like you were saying, yes, there's that extreme, but then also it isn't normal, and it should be a smooth. Yes, we have those peaks, and like we were talking about this, you know, sometimes stress and different things can impact, but it should be a lot smoother than I think that we were led to believe.
Yeah. We're always like period pain's normal, PMS is normal, breaking out before your period's normal, snapping at your partner is normal. It's to an extent, you know, little peaks and troughs, but nothing to the extreme. They're kind of your red flags that something's off.
Yeah. Oh, Emma, thank you so much. I think that all our listeners will really take a lot from this conversation. Like I said, let's end with one key takeaway for them and how people can work with you, where they can find you. We'll add all the links to this video.
Yep. Yeah. I think the biggest thing, particularly when it comes to the pill, is I just think don't be scared of your own natural hormones. Your natural hormones are so good for your overall health. It's not just about fertility. It's about your hair, your skin, your mood, your weight. It will help all. It's so important for all aspects of your health. So don't be scared for that to kind of come back online, and allow your body that time as well to kind of find its groove. I think that's really important to know that 2 to 3 months is very normal for your period not to come back, because it takes those 100 days to journey to ovulation.
Yes.
But yeah, and just kind of trust that your body knows what it's doing.
Oh, I love that.
And you can find me, I'm most active probably on Instagram. So it's happy.hormone.health. And I do consultations Australia-wide via Zoom. So you can find more information about my consultations and my clinic at happyhormonehealth.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll link all that in so people can follow you. Thanks again, Emma. It was so nice to see you.
You're welcome, Mel. Thanks for having me part of your event.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.